Hi everyone, welcome to your 30-minute hip opener Vinyasa. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Go ahead and grab some water and a mat, and we're going to get started lying on your back today. And go ahead, once you get comfortable, bring that right knee into the chest. Kind of hug it into the chest and let your left leg extend out in front of you. Maybe you take some circles with the right ankle here if that's what feels good to you. And then when you're ready, go ahead and place the left foot on the mat, right ankle crosses across left knee, and then just kind of use your right hand to traction that right knee backwards. Maybe you're able to pull the left knee into the chest into sort of a lying figure 4 position. Really pulling that left knee into the chest, letting the right knee traction backwards. We're going to come into a twist from here, so go ahead and let your left knee drape across the floor with your right ankle staying stacked on top of it. Right knee is pointed up towards the ceiling. Just kind of rest that right foot on the floor, and as much as you can, tee your arms out to the side of you and try and keep that back flat on the floor. You should feel a really nice twist here, kind of getting into that right hip flexor. And then both knees are going to cross over and drape over to the right side this time. Maybe you're able to keep that right ankle on top of the left knee and use it to sort of weigh your left knee down towards the floor. And this will be stretching out that front side of your left hip flexor. Go ahead and just wag the knees side to side and take some windshield wipers. And then we're going to reset. Bring that left knee into the chest, extend the right foot out this time. Go ahead and plant the right foot on the floor, cross the left ankle across the right knee. Use the left hand to traction the left knee backwards. And maybe you're able from here to come into a figure 4 position. So you can hold this as long as you like, but when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and bring that right knee into the chest. And when you're all done with that, go ahead and twist over so that the left foot crosses over and rests on the floor. Left knee is pointed up towards the ceiling. Right knee is draping over to the right side. Coming back through center, cross over to the left now. Both knees are falling to the left side. Maybe you're able to keep that left ankle crossed over the right knee and use the weight of that ankle to pull that right knee towards the floor and stretch out that front side of your right hip flexor. Taking nice, long, slow breaths here. We're just getting started today, so you should still feel pretty calm with your breath. Coming back to center, maybe you take a few more windshield wipers here. This time spreading the feet out to the wide edges of the mat and letting your knees fall inward towards each other. And this is kind of a reverse stretch of a lot of hip stretches we do, so it can feel really nice and kind of different on your hips. Palms of the feet come together, knees are falling outward in a Supta Baddha Konasana position. imagine gravity just pulling your knees out to the side. If you have blocks available, you could stack them underneath either knee in this position. Maybe you could use pillows if you're at home. But if you just need some extra support under those knees, feel free to do that. Knees come back to center, extending your left leg out. Right knee comes back into the chest. We're just going to warm up the core here. So peel that neck off the floor. Left foot comes to hover. Try and lift your shoulders off the floor as much as possible. Palms of the hands come behind the head, elbows out to the side. We're going to take bicycles here. So extend those legs out one at a time, bringing the knee in. Try and cross your elbow over the knee here, but just go nice and slow and controlled. Really try to get to the fullest extent of each stretch. Coming back over to the right side. This time you're going to flex the foot and lift the leg up and lower down. Up, lower down. Up, lower down. And that left elbow, you're staying hooked across the right knee. So really crunch those abs here. Keep that twist maintained. Back to center. And then we're going to tap the elbow to the knee. So left elbow is coming to right knee. This is kind of a twisting core exercise. Back to bicycles. Crossing the elbow across the knee. I believe you're going to do 8 of these here. So when you get to 8, go ahead and stay crossed over onto the left side. Lower that elbow and tap. We're reversing the order this time. So tap that elbow to the knee. We're just going to do 8 of these here. And when you get to that final one, hold the elbow to the knee, lift the foot up, flex the foot, and lower the leg down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up. Lower it down. Both knees come into the chest, knees to elbows, and extend out. Knees come into elbows and then extend those legs all the way out. Hug your knees into your chest. Go ahead and rest your neck on the floor. Maybe you take a full extension of the body, legs extending out, arms extending out. Take some windshield wipers here if that's what feels good to you. Coming up into boat. Go ahead and just squeeze that core, lift your chest here. Try and stay nice and still. If you're a little bit more advanced, you could straighten the legs out in front of you. Otherwise, just keep them bent. Cross your feet through, come forward onto all fours. And then extend your knees to the wide edges of the mat, sit back into child's pose. Letting that chest fall towards the floor. I like to bring my hands into prayer over my head here because that just feels good for me and my shoulders. But if it feels best to you to keep your fingers extended out towards the front of the mat, do that. Come into puppy pose. This is optional, but it's a really good stretch in between the shoulder blades. So hips come over the knees and come back to child's pose. Coming forward onto all fours. Go ahead and lift those knees to hover off the floor. Extending your legs out one at a time straight behind you. Keeping that knee hovering above the floor as you extend out and place it down. Other leg, place it down, extend out and down, out and down, out and down, out and down. And then push your hips back up into downward facing dog, letting the heels fall down towards the back of your mat here. Maybe you keep a slight bend in the knees. Maybe you walk it out a little bit. But you're gonna come forward into plank. And I'm just gonna demonstrate a Vinyasa flow for you here. So every time I say Vinyasa flow, you're gonna take a Chaturanga push-up, rocking forward onto the hands, keeping the elbows tucked into the side, push up into upward facing dog, and back into downward facing dog. And I'm just gonna break that down again for you here. If it's a little bit hard for you, go ahead and drop those knees to the floor, untuck the toes, lower all the way down into Cobra, lifting up, very minimal weight in the hands, chest lifts up, lower back down, tuck the toes, come through plank, back into downward facing dog. Also the option to skip this at any time. Lifting your right leg high into one-legged dog, go ahead and open the hip, bend the knee, stretch out that hip flexor here. Maybe you take some circles with the knee here. I see a lot of people do these like really small circles with the knee. Try and make them really big and exaggerated, and maybe, change up directions. Try and hit both directions. Otherwise, just hold that open hip and then square back off. Bring the right knee to right elbow, extend up into one-legged dog, right knee to left elbow, up into one-legged dog, right knee to nose. Go ahead and plant that right foot on the floor into your runner's lunge. Drop your left knee to the floor, untuck the toes. Go ahead and lift your arms up into a low lunge. Maybe you keep the arms extended up here. Maybe you reach back behind you, clasping the hands and extending the arms, lifting the chest. Go ahead and make your way back into a hamstring stretch from here. So you're gonna extend that front leg and push the hips back over the left knee. Keep your hips squared off here. You can do that by digging that right heel into the floor and engaging the left glute. You also have the option to kind of shift back and forth here in between low lunge and your hamstring stretch, but hold wherever it feels good. Coming back to low lunge, hands come to the inside of the foot scooches to the outer edge of the mat, and then you're gonna go ahead and let your knee fall outward, come onto the outside of the foot into lizard pose. Letting gravity pull that knee out towards the floor. You kind of can't see my knee great here, but just imagine that left knee falling outward. Also, option to come back into low lunge, reach back with your right hand and grab the inside of your left foot in kind of a twist to get that front side of the left hip flexor here, as well as that left hamstring. Coming back into low lunge, go ahead and tuck those back toes, bring that front foot back to kind of center, and then lift up into crescent lunge when you're ready. Straightening both legs and then bending both knees into cactus. Coming back to crescent. Left knee comes in and then extends back out into warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Back to warrior two. Go ahead and walk the feet in a little bit. You're gonna come into a wide-legged forward fold. Toes turn a little bit inward. Maybe you reach those hands back behind you. Maybe you grab opposing elbows, or maybe even clasp the hands behind the head here. Do whatever feels best. Imagining that neck hanging heavy, heavy. Lift up into halfway lift, coming all the way up. This time turning the toes outward, coming into goddess pose. Those knees are bending and pushing back. Maybe you use the hands to kind of add an extra stretch here. push that shoulder blade forward and twist to the right side. Switch over to the left. Using that left hand to traction the left knee back. Right hand tractions the right knee back. Coming back to center. And pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Straightening up, arms reach up, come through prayer, and into warrior 2. Squaring the hips off into crescent. Coming back into your runner's lunge. Go ahead and come this time into an inner thigh stretch. So you're going to twist over to your right, and then that left heel is going to stay pointed up towards the ceiling. Maybe your hands are on the floor, maybe you're able to bring them into prayer, and then switch over to the other side. And when you make that transition, you can use your hands, of course, on the floor to get yourself over there. So yeah, maybe you place the hands on the floor, maybe you kind of use that elbow to traction the knee backwards and get even more of an inner thigh stretch. Walk those hands back up to the front of the mat into your runner's lunge. Bend the left knee in and then take a forward fold. Neck is hanging heavy. There's no tension in the shoulders here. Maybe you grab opposing elbows. You could nod the head yes and no, look side to side. Halfway lift with an inhale, exhale forward fold, inhale mountain pose, lifting the arms high. Go ahead and take some head rolls here. Really rolling out that neck, switch directions. And shoulder rolls backwards. So just roll those shoulder blades up and back down the spine 4 times, reaching high into mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive down. Go ahead and step those feet back into plank, vinyasa flow, or meet in down dog. Chaturanga into upward facing dog, push back downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg high this time, go ahead and open up that left hip, bend the knee. Maybe you take circles here, remembering to switch directions. Go ahead and square that left hip back off, bringing the left knee to left elbow. Back up into one-legged dog, left knee to right elbow, back up into one-legged dog, left knee to nose, plant that left foot on the mat in your runner's lunge, drop your right knee to the floor, untuck the toes, lift the arms up into low lunge. Again, option to clasp the hands behind you, extend the elbows, opening the chest up towards the ceiling. Arms reach high into low lunge. Hands come to the floor. We're going to take lizard here, so go ahead and place both hands on the inside of the leg. Let the left knee fall outward. Coming back up onto the hands. Maybe, so you can actually hold on the elbows here, but it might have been good for you to stay up on your hands there. I just want to say that that's an option. Bring the right knee in, extend out, come into warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Right hand either comes to rest on the thigh or tucks behind the back into warrior two. Go ahead and square those hips off. Crescent lunge, extend the legs, bend both legs, cactus the arms out to the side, extend both legs out, coming this time into goddess pose. Hands come through prayer, those toes turn outward. You're opening up towards the right side this time. Go ahead and lift your right heel and take pulses. Lower, left heel, 4 pulses here. And then lift both heels. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Extend both legs up. Arms come up and through prayer. Down into a wide-legged forward fold. Toes turn inward. Heels turn slightly outward. Go ahead and reach those hands through the legs if that's what feels good to you. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, and come through into that side lunge, this time over to the left. Hands can rest on the floor or be in prayer. Switch over to the right side. Coming back through center, up into high lunge with the left leg forward. Go ahead and bend the right knee in and then come into a forward fold. Maybe you grab opposing elbows here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Take some head rolls. Switching directions. Roll those shoulders back and down the spine. 2, 3, 4. Lift the hands high. Come through mountain pose, swan dive down. Step the feet back into plank, vinyasa flow, or meet in down dog. Go ahead and come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look forward towards the top of the mat, and step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. And you're going to sit into chair. Taking a nice deep chair squat here. Option to bring the hands into prayer if that's a little bit easier for you, but we're going to pulse here. Going as low as you can, like you're sitting into a chair. Go ahead and hold. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Go ahead and lift that left knee high, cross the left ankle over the right knee, and you're gonna sit into a figure 4. Hands are in prayer. Maybe you're not able to go as far as I'm going here, but just sit back into figure 4 as best you can. Lifting that left knee high, reaching down, grabbing the bottom of the left foot. Maybe you just grab the bottom of the foot and stay there. Maybe you're able to kick and extend out. Bend both knees. Grab the left toe with the left hand, extending the right hand out. Left leg extends out. Reaching back and grabbing the inside of the foot, coming into King Dancer pose. Right arm extends forward. And both feet come to the floor. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Take a vinyasa flow or meet in down dog. Inhale, look to the top of your mat, step, hop, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Go ahead and come into mountain pose, and we're gonna lift the right knee high this time. Right ankle crosses across left knee, hands come through prayer. Sit back into your figure four. Imagine that right knee falling out to the side. Bringing the knee back up, arms reach up. Hands come down, grab the bottom of the right foot. Maybe you stay there. Maybe if you're stable, you're able to kick that right foot out in front of you. Try and keep the chest lifted here. Grab those right toes with the right hand. Extend that right leg outward, reaching out to the side with your left hand. And then make the transition into King Dancer pose, grabbing the inside of your right foot. I kind of fall out of it a little bit here and grab my couch, and I decided to leave that in there because honestly, it can be hard sometimes to get through these balancing poses. So just be patient with yourself. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back into plank, vinyasa flow, or meet in down dog. Coming down onto the knees, go ahead and push back and take a child's pose. Now's a good time to grab some water if that's what feels best to you. Otherwise, we're just gonna hold here in child's pose, taking nice, long, slow breaths, letting the chest fall into the floor. Maybe you're able to take a puppy pose here. Forehead or chin on the mat. Coming back into child's pose. Coming back up onto the knees and then push back into downward facing dog. Lower those knees back down again. Untuck the toes. And then you're gonna lift the left knee up and take some circles with the hip here. Bringing the left knee back, up and forward, back, up and forward, back, up and forward. Keep going. And then switch directions. So up, out to the side and back. There you go. Lower the knee down, and then we're gonna take fire hydrants out to the side. So just kick that left knee up, out to the side, opening up that left hip. Your glutes should really be firing up here. And then we're gonna go over to the other side. So lifting the right knee up and then out to the side. Up to the side, up to the side. Keep going. And then switch directions, up to the side, and then bring the knee back and down. And then fire hydrants out to the side, lifting the right knee up and out to the side, opening the right hip. Sit back into child's pose. Coming forward into frog position, so your knees are going to be out to the side. You're going to lay on your stomach and let the palms of the feet come together. You can kind of rest your forehead on your hands if that's what feels best to you. Imagining those feet weighing down heavy, heavy in the center. Beginning to slow down the breath here, realizing that you've made it to your cool down. Extend those legs out. Maybe you're able to wag the feet side to side in a sort of feet windshield wiper. Coming back through all fours. And you're gonna go ahead and come forward into a butterfly pose. Palms of the feet come together. Go ahead and grab those toes, sit up nice and high, let those knees fall out to the side. Chest is lifted, and then on your exhale, come forward and lean forward, drape over your feet. And the goal is to extend the spine out and over. So you're not really trying to have your back very rounded. You want the spine extended out, and you want to fold at your hips rather than in your back. Coming up out of the pose and into boat. So engage your core, knees come in. Maybe you can extend them outwards. We're going to lower by the count of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release arms and legs to the floor. Nice big inhale. And on your exhale, we're going to come back into Supta Baddha Konasana like we did at the beginning of the class. Palms of the feet come together. Knees fall out to the side. Taking a moment here to really soak in the benefits of your practice today. And when you're ready, just extend the legs out in front of you. You're going to make your way into Savasana. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Go ahead and just lie here as long as it feels good. Feel free to stop the video at any time. Namaste.